And now joining me is Andrew Selepak, social media professor at the University of Florida. So Andrew, I'm dying to hear your reaction on this. Good idea or bad idea that Twitter changed its logo to X?
I think it can go either way. I mean, on the one side, it's very difficult for a brand to kind of give up this brand recognition that it's had for, 15 years now. I mean, Twitter and tweeting has become part of our natural vocabulary, and I don't think it's going to be replaced anytime soon by saying, well, I re-X'd it, I X'd, or I DM'd somebody on the X. So from the perspective of a branding, you're giving up on a lot. You're giving up on the color scheme. You're giving up on the logo. You're giving up on just part of our natural vocabulary. Flip side, there's also a lot of negatives that go along with the Twitter brand. A lot of people have a negative impression of the Twitter brand. So from a branding perspective, it can really go either way.
I mean, can you really imagine people saying X, instead of saying I tweeted, can you imagine people saying I X'd something?
I re-X'd, I liked your X. Yeah, and from that perspective, I think, again, when you are such a part of the vocabulary, with the equivalent being sort of Google, like we don't say, did you use a search engine for that? Hey, can you Yahoo that? Can you Bing that? It's, did you Google it? Can I Google it? Let me go Google it. When it's part of the natural vocabulary, I mean, that's what a brand wants. And they're kind of giving up on that sort of brand recognition that it has in the sort of social media space.
So, of course, Elon Musk doesn't want Twitter to fail. So he must have some level of confidence, I would imagine. So where do you think he's coming from? Why change it? What's his motivation?
Well, I think there's two things. One, he just likes the letter X. He named his kid X. He's got a Tesla X. At one point, sort of PayPal was named, just X.com. He has an infatuation with that letter. The flip side is, Twitter is not the most successful social media platform. It's obviously not as successful as Facebook, as Instagram, as TikTok, YouTube. What he is most likely trying to do is change Twitter from this sort of simple micro-blogging platform and give it more options, give it more features. And in doing so, I think the rebranding is to kind of indicate that there are new features to come. What those new features will be is sort of the big question we're left with at the moment.
How has the reception been on this news?
The reception's been pretty mixed. If you look at a lot of mainstream media reports, they don't like it, but they often don't like Elon Musk anyhow. Jack Dorsey basically kind of came out and said that he was okay with it, despite the fact it's changing the thing that he put out there. You see some celebrities who are against it, but I think for the most part, people kind of want to just take a look and see. I mean, I was on Twitter earlier, and again, still using the term Twitter. On my phone, it still looked the same. On my desktop, that's where I saw the X. I saw the new color scheme. So there's a lot of people, if they haven't accessed it on their phone yet, they may not have noticed the change.
Do you think this will lead people to leave Twitter?
I don't think anyone's going to leave Twitter because of a new name. I think it's really going to be dependent on what these new features will be that will be added to the platform and how the platform itself may change that could lead some people to be less active or potentially leave the platform. But I don't think the name change itself will have a big impact on amount of time spent on there or people leaving the platform.
All right. Thank you so much today, Andrew. Always great hearing your insight.